shaking like a shitting horse.
Who are you? Paul Blart Mole Cop.
Welcome to the show.
Starving Artist Podcast. You already know what it is. It has been a while since we did an episode. We intended when we started this to do them like every other week, I think was the plan.
But you know what? You'll live with it.
Yeah.
Busy lads.
Life happens. Shit
Starving
gets in the way.
artists.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Man,
Sometimes you got to get food.
We've been starved of the art lately.
We have been starved of the art. I've been feeling the starving of the art.
In the pursuit of being not starving of other things,
Yeah.
we've been starving of the art. I have also been feeling starved of the arts, actually. I liked last week's session when we just, we did a little,
Had a little jam.
Had a little
Wrote some
jam.
songs for the first time in quite
ages,
a while.
man. Yeah, we've not worked on new stuff in a good while, which I'm excited about, actually. And we came up with a plan of, the next phase. Because obviously this phase is the we'll release a song every month phase. And that's fine. That's going all right. It's going okay.
It's going okay.
We need the social media schedule back, I think.
We do.
So if you could do that at some point.
Yeah. Well, the problem with it is that, with life getting in the way, it's like we had a perfectly good schedule there that we could have just stuck to and that we could just go back to at any moment even and make adjustments to. But it's whether or not we're even available to do it.
I was going to say, I feel like we're on the back foot a little bit, you know what I mean?
A little bit, yeah.
Because, before we started this campaign, we were, we started, beforehand, you know what I mean? We stockpiled for, a month or whatever. So we need to get back on our shit because, newsflash, our best single to date is out now. Dental Floss.
It is.
I would say it's our best single to date.
I would say so as well. It's on our Spotify, what's popular at the minute from these page. It is in second.
Right, okay.
Behind Predator, which is always first.
Yeah, Predator's always going to be first,
so
isn't it?
I'm pretty happy with that. Now, this does happen with all of them. Usually they end up slipping down a little bit, but a few have stayed up there. Boy is still in that top 5 section,
Okay,
I'm pretty sure.
Good.
Dental Floss is there. Dental Floss is always there.
Yeah. Dental Floss is
not Dental Floss.
you mean
Lonely
Predator?
Animals.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Lonely Animals is third.
underrated tune, I think.
I think so as well. Yeah, we don't really talk about that because we evolved out of that quite quickly, didn't we?
Yeah. It was like the COVID phase, wasn't it?
It was artistically it was like a transitional thing because before that we were, I'd say. Well, saying that, no, it wasn't. Midnight Driving was that.
I think it was you can put it as a route, as a pinpoint in the route to being more electronic. Because it's not massively electronic, but it's highly produced.
It was another rung on the ladder, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Towards where we've ended up now.
Yeah. But yeah, so where we've ended up now is Dental Floss.
And it is good.
I would say you should listen to it. Not to make the entire start of this episode an ad for the new song, but also this is a podcast about our journey as artists. And
sometimes you're going to have to hear about
our
art.
Yeah. I just realised that I'm sat a lot higher up than you.
Oh.
Making you look even shorter.
Yeah, I'm not that tall.
Yeah, I'll do you some favours, don't worry about it. So how do you... We've been waiting for Dental Floss for a while. Mm-hmm. We've been wanting to put this out for a while. Do you feel anything now that it's out?
I have been so distracted by everything else that I didn't even realise it came out, which destroys me a little bit inside.
Yeah, it's horrible, isn't it? I have had a similar experience.
Yeah, especially because we got so into the routine of this release schedule that now I feel like for ourselves, the sort of the dopamine hit of the thing coming out, it's gone because we know it's gonna come automatically on the 1st of every month. Which maybe is something to keep in mind for future releases if we're feeling that.
Yeah, everybody else might be feeling that.
Yeah.
Well, we're committed to this campaign now.
Yeah, we're doing it now. We're too far into it to stop. There's not long left. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think this will end in February.
Yeah.
So Highways will come out in a week. Less than a week.
Yeah.
But we're
on
not
the first.
But that's just that's a short song. That's just a little extra. There you go. We're still care more about Dental Floss, but you can listen to Highways if you want. Then New Year's is a song called Anyone, which is also
very good.
I think we should aim to over this next month get our arse in gear a bit and push Dental Floss more. so that by the time we get to January, we're prepped and we can push the fuck out of anyone, because that's another like big tune.
Yeah.
And then you will get Forever along with either at the same time as or shortly followed by the release of this project as a whole in, you know, one format, like a sort of mixtape format, in the not the order that it was released in, like more in the order of like how we would actually sequence it. It's probably going to be the same order as like the live set, to be honest, because that's kind of the order we think they should come in.
However it plays best.
Yeah. We've yet to come up with a name for that project. If anyone has any ideas,
help us out.
Because like, yeah, what we've sort of decided is we're just gonna like keep doing albums, I guess, or like not albums, like mixtapes or whatever.
Just keep on working on stuff that I think the thing that we've noticed is that we like sinking our teeth into big projects.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we do singles, I think that we tend to flick around from one thing to another stylistically a little bit, because we want to try stuff out, because this is an individual thing, it doesn't have to fit into this. Whereas when we do a longer project, it forces us to be more consistent with what we're doing, but also like there's a bigger sense of pride in it, because there's, you know, in doing that, in linking things sonically while still having them, you know, represent different emotions and stuff. Like it's solving the puzzle. How do I make this happy song and this sad song sound like they come from the same universe? It's an enjoyable process doing that.
Yeah, I think because the way we'd written this, you know, song a month era kind of all these songs was written over a long period of time. This is kind of like the best of every idea that we've had for the past like 3 years or whatever, since Predator, and even a little bit before maybe. So it wasn't sort of thought of with such like a concise idea of, okay, we're making this one project that we want to be listened to start to finish. It is kind of like a bit of a jumble of songs, and I think they do fit together fairly well. But I think what we've discovered in the sort of doing all the stuff that surrounds it, like video stuff and like marketing stuff and all the campaign of it. What we've discovered is it doesn't have as like strong an identity as maybe things that we've done before, even though the songs themselves are better. So I think what we're aiming for with this next project is to sort of take what we've learnt from, you know, as like songwriters and as producers, and apply that in a way that will make a good overall project rather than just good songs. Yeah. Which I'm excited about.
I'm excited about it. I'm excited that we've got direction for each bit of it. So not to give too much away, but the plan is to have all of the songs sort of to deliberately try and put across an emotion, rather than finding out what the song sounds like, being like, oh, okay, we want to represent this feeling. And I think that that's going to be like enjoyable, because again, it gives us something to unwind, you know what I mean? Unpack.
Yeah. And I think setting out with an idea of what we want to do to begin with is helpful, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
What was I going to say then? Oh yeah, what I quite like is that I think at this point in our career, we could very much be like, like, this isn't fucking working, like, let's just bin it off, or like, oh, what we're going to do or whatever. But I think this is something that we'll probably always do in tandem with anything else that we do outside of this, just because when it comes down to it and we're actually making music together, it is a fun experience. And I think we make stuff that we really enjoy.
And over time, we are, as anyone does with anything, getting increasingly good at it. Everything that we do, I think, is better than the last thing that we did.
Yeah, I agree.
Which, if you carry on like that, but you know what I mean? It's little contributions each time, you know what I mean? Like, maybe there's something about these songs that isn't, you know, hitting that well or whatever, and that's part of the marketing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's you know, there's still stuff in there that is great that we should carry forward with the lessons of the other thing, you know what I mean?
I think it is also just like the way that the industry is, not just now, but has always been, but especially now, I guess, is like there's a lot going on, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people trying to do what we're trying to do, and you're not always going to be able to have the opportunity to be like the guy of that
Yeah,
moment.
sometimes you just don't cut through.
Yeah.
You just don't end up in
Um,
front of the eyes. You know what I mean?
And I think it's been difficult a little bit over the past, maybe since Jamie left, like it's coming on like 2 years now. And maybe even before that, it's been difficult because like the goal of us getting together week in and week out and working on stuff has been, okay, how are we going to make this our career? And that's always been part of the goal since we started this when we were like 17 or whatever. It's like, okay, we want to do this, but I think
we jam so much less now because we're doing so much planning and stuff.
Exactly.
I was talking to my girlfriend about this morning, saying like I feel like part of my creative kind of itch isn't being scratched as much at the moment because we don't do as much artistic stuff and I feel like that's partially down to my degree as well. I've noticed since that I've been becoming more and more analytical and business minded with it all, whereas this is a creative outlet. We need to just make it as enjoyable for us as we can, because that reads as well. That's the case with all art. Like whatever emotion that you're feeling when you make it is whatever emotion they're gonna feel when they see it.
Yeah, and I think it also shows in, if you look at the work that we've done so far, we've like the times that I look back on most fondly were when we were just doing the thing, you know what I mean? And like obviously if you want to make a career out of it, you need to be calculated to some degree, and you do need to think about like how you're going to present yourself and like what part of the industry you want to be in and like how you're going to market and stuff like that. But also at the same time, if you're not doing the bit before that, like it kind of makes the other bit redundant. You know what I mean?
At
Like,
its core, you have to be doing it out of love, otherwise it's gonna read that you don't. Really,
and I think like it is cool that we're at a point where we could say, this isn't really fucking working. But what instead we're saying is, oh, let's just do something that we really love and then carry on trying to push it as much as we can. And if something happens, then great. If something doesn't happen, then that's fine as well.
Then
like,
at least we enjoyed making it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that'll always be the case. I think that's sort of the way that we should operate going forwards. It's like we'll always put at least a little bit of time in life aside to do this because we do need that creative outlet, you know what I mean? And my sort of career path is generally more music anyway than sort of the areas that you're going into. But even within that, I've noticed like half of my income now is from doing gigs, and that's great and that's really fun. But I too have been missing there's still the creative thing that isn't there at all, really.
Yeah, which is interesting because like on the face of it, you're doing the thing that is the whole goal, making money from playing music to an audience who are enjoying it. But the thing for us is that we want to make stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not making nothing there.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It doesn't hit the same. It's good for the dough.
And I think a lot of musicians find themselves in this position where it's like, okay, I'm getting to a point where I can actually make this my job, but it's not the most ideal set of scenarios. This is just to afford me to be able to do the creative thing, you know what I mean? Because like, ideal world, I could chuck out a couple of gigs a week, make a bit of dough, and then spend the rest of my time making things, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, like one for them, one for me kind of thing. And something else that I noticed, and I sort of mentioned to you the other week, but I'll tell these, is like, so the past 2 Fridays, I've done this gig where I was playing bass in like an indie covers band, and it was like so much fun. And it got me thinking, like, they sort of hammered home the fact of like, oh, I've sort of been so wrapped up in like trying to make the band work or whatever that like the shit that we used to do that was really fun, like jamming and making new ideas and even like playing live to a certain degree, although it was stressful. Like that's why you start doing it. And that this has sort of reawakened that thing in me of like, oh, there it is. Like that's why I started doing it. I need to sort of chase the things that give me that sort of satisfaction.
Yeah,
you know
the fulfillment. Like Well,
meant to be
that
fun to a
session
degree,
last week, I came in and was like, I really feel like we just need to work on a song.
Yeah.
Like, because we had other intentions. We were like, oh yeah, we could edit videos, or we could do the podcast or something like that. And I was like, no, what we need to do right now is just start writing a new song from scratch.
Yeah, just for the soul, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because even say like the songs that we're releasing now, at the time that we were working on them, it was working on smaller ideas that we'd had at earlier stages. We went through every project that we hadn't gotten to the end of, or that we'd started and we found the little, the good ideas, and we salvaged things out, and little sounds and little melodies and stuff, and then built new songs out of it. And that means that really we've not worked on something from a blank canvas
in so long.
So long, and like I don't know. I think we were obviously both feeling that.
Yeah, I actually I'm just trying to find, because it came up in my Snapchat memories a little while ago, was sort of when we started the phase of, or it might have even been like in lockdown, like pre the phase of trying to like put together some sort of like album of all of our best ideas or whatever. And it's astounding to see, first of all, like how many ideas were on that list, and also, but like how many of them just didn't make it anywhere at all. Is this the oh no, it is somewhere. There's a fucking, oh, it's this. So that album, so
I don't even remember what's Shy.
This, well, exactly. So this is a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 tracks.
One of them did come out. 2 of them came out but weren't on the album. The subhead. So it says Strangers. We'll put a picture of it.
Yeah, I'll put
Strangers, the album. 1 came out. Jaded came out but not on the album. Well, and so did 1 really, but way earlier. Lonely Animals also. Hollows and Highways. When was that going to be on the fucking album?
So this is what I mean. So I think, so at this point,
we were going to use the stuff that was
already
already
at this point,
out.
Hollows and Highways and Jaded had already come out. I think that's why they've got 2 ticks. Maybe Lonely Animals was on its way out. So this would have been, so this was like a month or 2 before Lonely Animals came out.
The day after my birthday, that.
Yeah. So, but the funny thing is that the only thing that survived is 1, really.
Yeah, there's one called Shy. Don't you remember that? There's one called Glass. Vaguely remember it sounding glassy. Fruit.
Fruit we actually recorded most of, but fucked it off. It was when Jamie left, actually, because it was too like bandy. We needed like a live drummer. Aside from that, like
the song, kind of remember that.
Everything else is
Provenance,
fucking,
no, don't remember that at all.
Fucking gone, man. There isn't. I'm sure there's another picture of it somewhere that I'll try and find at one point where it's like even longer, and it's like, it might be on like my Instagram story archive or some shit, and it's like just a fucking, because that's like 11 tracks, whereas this was like the 11 tracks plus all the ideas, so it like went from the top to the bottom and then like down halfway again.
Jesus. And now we're starting at like halfway, not even halfway through the first one of the next thing. But it's so liberating though.
Yeah.
Like, is it not? You know what I mean? Because we're not locked into doing stuff that's within the realm of what we've been doing. Like, I feel like so I've been discussing with you every week when I've been coming in here, like, let's try and find some ideas of a new direction, because we're at a point where it's like, we can do anything we want here now.
Yeah.
Like, let's pick a fucking class lane and see where it takes us, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and what's cool is sort of knowing that we have the freedom to do whatever we want. Like,
we will, bitch.
And that's not to say that we haven't done whatever we want in the past, right? But take these songs that are coming out now. I think that was very much like us doing our most poppy stuff, and like that was cool because that, like, at least personally, as someone who was like maybe starting these ideas and then bringing them to you guys, like that was what I was into at the time, and I still appreciate that, and that's still sick. But I think now it's not like we have to be like the most commercial version of ourselves, because we're sort of saying, well, we've done that and no one's really asked, so fuck it, you know what I mean?
Do whatever we want.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think that has better chances of yielding good results
think
in
so.
terms of our commercial standing anyway, because we're just doing it for the fucking love.
Yeah, and it's reflective of what we are, because it's just, all right, let's just do whatever's fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And fun is that's what I would say as well to any other fucking musicians out there, right, that are trying to make it. If any other starving artist listening to this pod, at the end of the day, it does have to be fun. Otherwise, what's the fucking point?
Yeah, why have you done it then?
Yeah, you get to a point where you think, I'm not enjoying this actually anymore. You know what I mean? Like, why am I? What's going on here?
Right. So I was gonna say this here before. There was this fucking quote that I heard from some guy, and he was saying, sorry that I can't reference him properly, but Google the quote if you bothered. Go on ChatGPT.
What, you just don't remember who it was?
Yeah, I just can't remember his name.
Right.
But he said that every roll of camera film has the potential to be the last roll of camera film in history.
Right.
So make sure to fill it with something worthwhile.
Yeah.
Like, this hard drive could be the last hard drive on Earth one day. Maybe everything gets EMP'd, but for some reason that's under the bed and the springs absorb the fucking shock, and that's the only hard drive in existence long after we're dead.
Yeah.
Make sure to fill it with something worth hearing and seeing, you know what I mean?
Well, similar to the sort of thought that I discussed with you briefly last week in saying, so I was saying that, you know, I make YouTube videos sometimes, and I do that for no other reason than a hobby, you know what I mean? I enjoy making things, I enjoy, like, filming life, and I also enjoy the fact that, like, that's there now, you know what I mean? Like, I can go watch it, my kids can go watch it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they can look at things that I did, they can look at me and him in Berlin with Jamsey in 2022 and go, oh, like, they had a sick time, you know what I mean? And that's just there now. And that's similar with our music, you know, like, our music's going to be out forever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I, like, you know.
It exists beyond us, which, you know, so might as well make it as reflective of us as we can. Leave your legacy, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
if that's what you do, if you're making stuff, then the intention is to not have it be destroyed, you know what I mean?
With that said, we are in the middle of discussing a way to reissue all of our older material. Because
if anyone knows how we can put our old stuff back on Spotify with the correct year on it, can we do that? Is that just doable?
I don't know. I think there's a good chance, I can't remember exactly, but that when you sort of go to upload it to Spotify via, we use DistroKid, via DistroKid, it either says, I think it says, has this been released before? And then it'll ask you for, like, a original release date or whatever.
Oh, okay.
I'm hoping that is the case. If not, we'll just have to put, like, in brackets next to everything what year it was actually from.
Yeah.
Which
We'll
would be
remaster it.
Bit of a pain. Yeah, we should actually.
There you go. That's how you fix that problem.
Just title it 2024 remaster.
We'll remaster it, and all the singles that came out after it, we'll put them on as a deluxe version.
There you go.
There you go.
So Midnight Drive-In Deluxe Edition 2024 remaster.
How many years has it been since we brought it out?
It was 2019. It's a shame that we're a bit late, really. We could have done 5-year anniversary this year. 6 years isn't really that special, you know what I mean? We'd have to wait for 10 now.
Oh, we should have realised.
We'll just put it back out, man. We'll just put it back out, fuck it. It's still up on, like, SoundCloud and stuff. It's still, like...
What if we put it up on the last day of the year?
This year? I think
it's still within the same year.
No,
it's the anniversary of the year. But then it is the anniversary of the year every year.
Yeah, I think we should get this cycle out the way with first.
Yeah.
Once this is out as its, like, full project, then reissue all the old shit, and then we can move on and do the new shit.
Do you know what we even do?
What?
Here's what we do. And this is interesting to be putting on the pod, actually, because, like, we were just talking about, you know, the love of the art and all this, but then there is the other side to it being like, okay, well, how do we actually package up this thing? What's the, like, talking about, okay, well, we can do that by saying it's a 2024 remaster, and while we're there, we can add a bit of value to it by doing this, you know what I mean? So, anyway, the suggestion we was going to make was all of the songs that we're putting out in this cycle, we can compile into a thing like we were saying we were going to do. and then at the same time we can release all of the old stuff as a remaster, as a B-side to, because all of the things are already out at that point.
Yeah.
It's just compiling them together, and we're compiling the singles together onto the Midnight Drive. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like,
Yeah.
it could be like this is all out now. We package that up together. Also, there's this, and then then that is the whole everything that we've done so far.
Yeah.
There, you know what I mean. The whole
anthology.
yeah, the whole discography available.
Yeah.
And I think that we should also throw on an EP of all of the ones before that.
Yeah, I think
we were very rocky at a point.
Yeah, we were.
But some of them songs were all right.
Yeah, I still think. You know what? Out of every song we've put out, there isn't really anything I look back on and think, oh, that's actually shit. You know what I mean? There's ones where I'm like, oh, like that sounds like immature, or it sounds like something I wouldn't do now, or it's just a different genre or vibe. But there's not necessarily. I don't hate any of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think it's all because you have to remember the context in which it came out as well. I think for the time, it's all pretty good. You know. Because we were sort of working. I think we've always been working at the limits of our ability.
Yeah, we've always been doing stuff that feels slightly too hard for us to be able to do. But like, that is how you improve, though. That's the mad bit. It's like the constant chasing of like, it's the carrot on the stick, isn't it? The goal is unattainable if the goal is slightly better than where you are, but it still pushes you forward.
I'm also thinking that maybe we should sift through older.
Oh, here we go. We're doing it again.
No. We should. No, I mean, like, out of the songs off this album, we should go and see if there's any like old demos that we could put out as like the demos of these. You know what I mean?
Because do you know what? If the whole thing is we've been creating stuff together for years, and the whole thing is the love of that and the love of the fact that we've done and the memory of it for us, and to have it out there, like having it all there together and packaged up in a way that we can go like, and this is from this bit, and this is from this bit, like.
Yeah, and
because we took everything down for business reasons. Yeah, we took everything down because Predator was doing really well, but it was a completely different sound to the stuff that we had out, and it was the direction we wanted to go in. So we were like, let's get rid of everything on there because it feels like a not honest representation of the direction that we're going in.
Yeah.
But it's not about that no more. No. Give a fuck about the opinions. It's for us. It's always for us, and it's always for you when you do it too. You know.
All it has to be is an honest representation of what we've actually done, which it is. What I'm thinking is maybe we could do if we did that demo shit, we could do it maybe as like a Bandcamp exclusive. Because none of our old shit's on Bandcamp, but do it as a Bandcamp exclusive and then like encourage people to like give us a fucking few quid. You know
Buy it.
Not that people would.
Thing is though, like I've got Spotify. I want to listen to it. I'm not getting on Bandcamp. I'm not paying for our shit.
Yeah, but you've heard our fucking demos a gazillion times.
Yeah, but the whole thing is that I want to be able to go, you know what? This is a memory from when I was 15, and that's class. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, the demo tape one's going back up. I actually forgot that we did already compile all of them together. But and you know what? Let's put them on as singles from when they came out as well.
Because even then we didn't really release them as singles. We
released them as the demo tape. That's true.
Exactly. Yeah. So because what we did was we put them all on SoundCloud individually over like the period that we recorded them, and then when they went on Spotify, they were all together as the demo tape.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're gonna reissue a lot of old shit. Just so that it's there if people want it, and so that we can look back on it and say, oh, this is what we have achieved, you know, and this is the progression of we've come from this, then we've gone to this, and we're still moving forwards.
The lineage.
Yeah. Shall we jump into a topic? So last episode, I pulled up a list of potential topics for us to talk about and just gave Sean a few numbers to pick from, and he would pick a number and that would correspond with the topic, and then we chatted about it. This week he has, at very short notice, told me
upon arrival
that he wants me to present these to him not as just numbers 1 through 4, but as just an assortment of random words.
Not random words, but like a headline, you know what I mean? But where it alludes to it, you know, like...
Right, okay. Juggling endless heavy balls.
Ooh.
Number 2. Wild man deserts friends for foreign land.
wonder what that's about.
Number 3. Entire industry reduced to single charity cause. And number 4, comment sections. What the fuck?
Can you give me number 1 again, please?
I don't know, something about
Juggling endless heavy balls.
juggling endless heavy balls.
Let's go for juggling endless heavy balls this
Okay,
week.
so number 1, juggling endless heavy balls, aka the grind. So, I mean, it's kind of like, it's stuff that we've talked about in the past, but just more concisely. Is this whole thing of trying to gain satisfaction from the thing that you actually want to do, but also having to do all of the things that you're actually responsible for.
Yeah.
Right. So currently, right, we do this band and this is our passion, right? We like making music together. We've been putting out all these songs. We do the podcast, you know, it's becoming this thing that we do. And it's been something that we've put time into since we were like 17, right? But as we've gotten older, we've gone from like being in college, hanging out with our mates, doing the band. They were like pretty much the 3 things, right? And now it's like we do the band, but also we've still got friends that we hang out with. We've both got girlfriends and committed long-term relationships. You're at university and have a job.
2 jobs.
2 jobs. I'm self-employed technically and have like a job and then also like
seasonal work.
Yeah,
as well,
and like a job that I'm trying to do, you know, like I do the audio engineering thing still, but now I'm trying to do the musician thing, so I'm like juggling both of these. And then there's like just any other bullshit that life throws at you, like your own fucking health, mental health, fucking family bereavements, illnesses, you know what I mean? Like all this shit that happens. And it's like things just pile on top of the doing the band, you know what I mean?
And things pile on top in general. It's like the you know, the cliche thing about the glass is full. And you put a drop in the top and it feels like it's going to overflow, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's very easy to overstretch when you've got a hobby that you kind of want to make a career out of.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. One thing I'm looking forward to is graduation and being able to have just one job again, because the sacrifices that get made by having so many responsibilities end up being the things that are more want-based, but you need to balance your needs and wants. Like, I need money, so I have 2 jobs, and that's why I'm doing a degree, is to be able to, you know,
get a better job,
and to be able to only have the one of them, you know what I mean? Where does what was the fucking point?
I don't know, but
Needs and wants. Whereas, like, say, like, I don't really see my mates that much at the moment. I don't really see them at all, if I'm honest with you. I've not seen them properly in a long time because I've got uni and I've got, you know, fucking work on and this, that, and the other. So, like, I don't know. I think you do have to narrow down at a point, don't you, and go, right, well, what's my top 5?
Yeah, and
you know what I mean.
I think it will be good when, you know, let's say you finish uni, right, and you get a job, and it's like
I've got my job, I've got my band, I've got my bird, I've got my mates, and then exercise where possible, and that's it.
Yeah,
That's
it's
all
like
you need, isn't it?
once you're in that groove of, okay, I go to work these days at these times, this is the life, right? Then everything outside of that, you can leave work at the end of the day, and you're like, okay, work's done. You know what I mean? Whatever happened in work, I'm gonna try not to bring that home. I can just get on with any of the other shit that I want to do outside of that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel similarly about getting to a point where I have regular musician work coming in to the point where I'm like, okay, I know that I'm gigging these days. Anything outside of that is leisure. I can do it. You know what I mean? I can do what I need to do to fucking feed my soul. But I think we're both at weird transitional points in life where we're going from like young men who were trying to be in a fucking successful band to now like having to do adult shit.
When it comes to balancing all the things in your life, because obviously it can be quite hard, I think narrowing it down to just one of each of the main things that every human being needs is probably the way to
Right.
go. Because the more things that you pack into a category. So the way that I think you can probably categorize the things that people actually need based on all of human history. Like if you look at, when we were Homo sapiens as an animal, you know what I mean? We were hunter gatherers, we're pack animals, you know what I mean? So like you need, but also we had things like paintings in
Right.
caves with people's hands. Before we even had paintbrushes, we were trying to do that.
Yeah.
So that's woven into us as well. So I think the main things that you really need, obviously, gather your resources, get your money, you know,
Get the bag.
yeah, get the bag,
Caveman style.
yeah, so that you can get the food, because that's always the goal. Really,
Yeah,
is don't be starving, right? So like. And so when people don't have that, like there's the missing of that's the anxiety, is I'm not doing my responsibility and gathering my resources as a human being.
I also think like there's that thing of like the need to sort of get out the physical. You need the physical outlet, like you say.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That was the next, is that you need a physical outlet, because now it's no longer go and hunt the thing for miles and miles. We used to outrun our prey over long periods, you know what I mean? We used to, because we developed sweat glands and they didn't. So they'd have to stop and they'd have to pant, and we could just keep going. And we'd go until it was exhausted, and then we'd have it, which meant that inbuilt into us is this, like, obviously there's going to be an inbuilt dopamine mechanism for that, and there is, you know what I mean? It's like, it needs to feel good doing that, because otherwise you're not going to do it, you know what I mean? Then creative outlets, that's always been there, you know what I mean? Whether it's, dance or painting or music or whatever thing. And then in terms of, your social needs, you need a partner and you need friends.
Yeah.
And they're different feelings entirely, as we all know. But like, you've got, the family, the offspring, the relationship that then helps build that, because, the kid needs a mum and a dad. So then that's all. Well, no, but there is a lot to suggest that that's kind of the healthiest environment.
Yeah, I'm only fucking around.
But like,
you only had one. Look at you.
But like, you need that. But then also, if you got the family at home, not both of the parents can be going and doing the hunting, because it's risky. So you need the friends as well to go and do that with, or if it's at home. And not that these have to be the roles. There have been societies where women have been doing the hunting before, and it's been the other way around. But you know what I mean? So you need to balance all these things and have love, friendship, a creative outlet, a physical outlet, and gather your resources.
Yeah.
And when you start getting to the point where, okay, now I'm going to take on another creative project and another one and another one. Okay, well, which of these other things are you sacrificing?
Yeah.
Or, okay, well, I'm going to spend all of my time with my friends. Okay, well, are you gathering your resources? Have you got love? Have you got a creative outlet? If you spend all your time exercising, again, you can neglect the other things by piling too much into one of the basically 5 only things that your body actually needs. You know what I mean?
Isn't it crazy that like some people just aren't creative? Right, and like that sounds a bit like a dick thing to say. Like, I get that not everyone's the same, and like some people just aren't gonna have that proclivity to be creative. But as to me, it's just mad how people's brains work like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And how some people won't. See, I think me and you are more geared towards creative activities than physical activities. But as we've gotten older, we've gone, oh yeah, but we still need to put time into that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're going to feel fucking terrible.
Like, I think that, everyone still has ideas, though. All creativity is ideas.
Right.
And then you should obviously try and do something with them, because the more that you hold it, an idea is the same as a feeling, and it's supposed to be felt and it's supposed to be out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, say I've got friends that do very, this is the proper way to do this jobs, like engineering type of things.
Yeah.
But to them, that's almost the same as our creative outlet, because for them it's figuring out the puzzle. What's broken with this, and going through the step.
Yeah.
You're gonna be one or the other. You might be analytical or you might be creative, or you know what I mean. But I don't know. That category is a little bit of a. It depends on your proclivity for it a little bit. The other ones you absolutely need, but the creativity, it's like it's either going to be that or you need a problem to solve. Or
You gotta do
you know,
something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just fucking do something.
I suppose you can replace the creativity thing with just passion. Do something that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
And then love someone and have friends and exercise and gather your resources. If you do one thing for each of them things, you're chilling. Like, what else do you need in your life?
It's amazing though, isn't it? Like in modern society, how many people don't have a passion?
Yeah,
or
that's
like
very true.
And like that might just be that they haven't discovered it yet, but also like just that they don't care like about things. You know what I mean?
Well, they don't care to actively find the passion.
Yeah, that is
like,
true.
At the moment, I'm thinking, because obviously I'm graduating in not that long, and I'm thinking quite a lot about, in terms of what job I want, what's going to be properly within my nature. You know what I mean? What is something that I'll be able to go to it every day for 30 years and come home and still feel passionate about it? And I'm struggling to think what industry that might be. Obviously, this would be ideal.
Yeah.
But, you know, the world is as the world is. But, like, I don't know. I think that a lot of people resign themselves to going, well, I don't know what it is and I'm not going to find out. I'll just do whatever.
Yeah. But it is mad that some people are just happy with that as well. Like fair game to them. Like some people are fine with that.
Maybe they're just putting more eggs in the other baskets. If you've got 4 of the 5 things covered, you're all right.
Yeah,
like,
true.
Say someone who doesn't have a creative or physical outlet, there's a good chance that they've probably got a family and a job and a social life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe the other 2 things are missing, and maybe it does feel like something is missing in their life and they don't know what.
Yeah.
But, you know, you only come to these kinds of conclusions about this kind of shit by, like, I don't know, going to therapy probably.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. True. Well, I'd say that is a episode. We're going for almost an hour now. So that is another installment of...
Can't go any higher than that. It's go home time.
That is another installment of the Starving Artist podcast. As always, we are Strangers. We're releasing a brand new song every month on the 1st of every month. Strangers Day, baby.
Every month.
Which means that there is... this watch doesn't have a date on it. It means there's... like in a week, maybe. Oh, by the time this comes out, actually, it might be out. What day is Saturday?
It's the 26th now.
Oh, yeah. So Dental Floss would have come out last month. That's the big boy. I'll link it down below. But then also little extra taster for you before Christmas. Highways, the Strangers Christmas anthem is also out now. So you can check that out. Thank you very much. Stay hungry.
Yeah, stay hungry and peace be with you.